There's a reason why being called a trust baby in America is not a compliment. Are there families out there that have passed money from one generation to the next and done so in a positive, healthy way that produces not only more money, but good people? Let's think through how we can leave money to the next generation without messing them up. 95% of the one percenters are first generation wealth. In almost every culture worldwide, there's this phrase that goes more or less to the effect that from shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Guess what? People are going to do dumb things with money if there's no consequences to how they spend it and how they use it. So let me give you an example of this. Some years ago, in fact, this was very early on in my practice. This was one of the very first experiences where I saw that, whoa, this money can be nasty. This young woman, she was in her early 20s, inherited a large amount of money. She thought her dad was poor. Turns out he was really rich. She had no economic or financial savvy whatsoever. She couldn't balance a checkbook. And it didn't take very long for some things to start to happen. Friends came around. Oh, we're your friend, because she learned that if she threw the party, people would show up and have a good time, and she felt very loved and cared for. And some of these soirees, some of these parties would involve substances. For long, she was addicted to drugs. Now, in the particular trust structure that she had, there was a bank that was the trustee. But the trust gave her the power to mandate distributions. So the trustee calls us, the bank calls us. Hey, this young woman is coming into our bank. It is stunningly obvious that she has drug problems. We can see the vein marks on her arms. We can see the bloodshot eyes. And she says, give me the money, and we have to give it to her. Can we stop it? We ultimately did, with a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of kicking and screaming and calling bad names later. So one of the things we can do to help our children navigate this space is prepare them. Surprising children with money, boom, big inheritance, is bad. They need to be told from a young age if there's wealth involved, even if it's not a lot of wealth, a little bit of wealth. They need to be told, look, when we're gone, this is going to be yours, and we're going to prepare you to handle it. Have them participate in financial processes and decisions, and have them do accounting. I want to share a very personal example. Some years ago, I had a car. It was several years old. I felt like it's time to replace the car. So I engaged my then 12-year-old son in this dialogue. And it went something like, hey, what do you think of our car? Oh, I love it, Dad. It's really cool. It's fast. And we had this hour-long conversation about cars, when you should keep them, when you should sell them, what things we think about. And multiple times in that conversation, I asked that young man, what do you think? What do you think? What's your opinion? How would you do this? Involving children in that financial process early on is super powerful. It's also powerful when you know money's coming. Think about it. If you know, oh, I'm going to get $1,000 on Friday. When you're leading up to that, you're going to spend that $1,000 100 different ways. So if you have the opportunity to mentally play with the money before you actually get it, it gives you the ability to weed out some of the dumb things. I could play goofy golf 99 times and still have money left over. That'd be cool. Maybe that's not the best thing to do with your $1,000. So knowing it's coming gives you the ability to deal with it mentally and emotionally before it actually hits your wallet. In that regard, when we set up trusts and we're looking at multi-generational wealth and it's going to last a long, long time, one of the things we do is we give them access to capital and we cap how much they can burn. So how do we do that? We can structure the trust so that the burnable amount, what's going to come out of the trust and it's just going to be cash in their pocket, we limit that to something. And that can be a dollar amount, it can be a percentage, it can be limited to the income only. Candidly, one of my favorite models is what I call the Nobel Prize model with a dollar cap. The Nobel Prize is this cool prize that gets awarded, and every year the value or the amount of the prize money awarded goes up. Well, how do they do that? Turns out there's an endowment that's invested, and the prize money is a fraction of the net income. They don't just give it all the income away, so that some of the income is contributed to the principal, the corpus, so the principal grows and gets bigger. So next year, there's more principal generating more income, so the prize gets bigger. The maximum amount that can be distributed is a fraction of the income. then there should be a dollar cap. And that dollar cap should be based upon how much money can a beneficiary spend and have it be helpful and not harmful. Now, every family is going to answer this differently. I have had people come in with very large estates, hundreds of millions of dollars, and tell me straight-faced, if my children spend more than $50,000 a year, that's awful. They're blowing it. And then I've had other similarly situated clients say, if my children spend more than $500,000 a year, that's awful. They're blowing it. So that's a very personal decision. You have to figure out what's right for the spending and lifestyle habits of your family and what they're accustomed to and what you think is reasonable and appropriate. But there should be a limit. One of the devices that is, in my opinion, a bad idea is to spread it out over birthdays. Give them so much on this birthday, make them wait a few years and give them more on the next birthday, or 5 years, and then wait another 5 years and give them some more. And then eventually there comes an age when they get it all. This is a bad idea for a whole lot of reasons. Number one, age has nothing to do with the ability to manage money. Often, a 24-year-old where life is beautiful and perfect and everything's going great may be in a better position than a 42-year-old that's experiencing their first life crisis, medical crisis, marital issue, business failure, or something like that. So age is a poor predictor of when people are going to be able to handle money. It's better to structure distributions as discretionary. So a trustee or someone has to exercise discretion. Do what the parent would do. Kids come and say, give me money, mom and dad. And you're going to say, for what? And if it's a good thing, I need to buy books for school. Oh yeah, cool. I need to buy beer for the party with my friends. Yeah, bad. No. So somebody needs to exercise that discretion, and it should not be based on having a birthday. And I'll give you a story. Some time ago, I was speaking at an event. It was a family office event, and there were a number of very wealthy families there. And I ended up establishing a relationship with someone that is just an awesome human being. And effectively, they were a 9th generation family office. They traced their wealth back 9 generations, which is pretty staggering. And they told stories about how long-term investing for them meant 100 years, as opposed to, long-term investing is 5 years or whatever that a lot of us think about. And in their family, some things that came out that were quite interesting. Not everybody had the same level of economic success or even the desire. There were some people that hit a comfort level at one point and that was enough for them. And others were far more ambitious and hungry and driven and would go out and create their own wealth. Nobody got free money, by the way. Nobody got free money. What they had was opportunity, access to capital, and human resources. So the family was encouraged, get your own idea. Get your own ideas and bring them to the family. And as a family, in our family council, we have really smart people, and it was a multi-generational family, so there was a large group of people that did this. And there were actually different committees and groups that they had organized, but they'd bring an idea to the family, and you'd pitch the family, hey, this is my idea, can we do this? And it might have been, I want to go to medical school, I want to be a doctor. Well, okay, why is that a good idea? And they'd talk through that, and they would work out some financial arrangement to help that individual become a doctor. Or it might be, I have this business idea I want to invest in, la-di-da, and we can make all this money. And when the family then decided we're going to support whatever the proposal was, the family brought their resources to bear. Oh, you want to be a doctor? Well, guess what? We have an apartment complex where that university is. We can get you an apartment. And oh, by the way, we have all these resources. These other people in the family you can consult with about where to go to school, how to do your studies, how to start your practice. If it was starting a business, buying real estate rentals or having an investment fund or a manufacturing company, they did all kinds of things. They could bring in people in the family who could counsel, coach, mentor, consult with. So the family functioned like this enormous board of directors. And the individual I was talking with said, yeah, he said, I've never gotten a dime from my family. He said, but I did have access to capital. And when I persuaded them that my idea was a good one, he said, I have all their resources. He said, they've opened doors for me and created opportunities that I could have never had if I was just flailing about on my own, trying to do this without help. Now, in the same family, and he shared this, he said, he says, I have a sister who's a school teacher. And she's a brilliant school teacher. She's really good at it. And she loves the kids. And she's very devoted. And she's totally comfortable on that school teacher salary. That's all she wants. She hit that. And the family helped her go to school, helped her pay for her college. So nobody was tied in or obligated or mandated to do one thing. Everybody got to pick their own path, but the family had both financial and human resources to bring to the individuals in the family to help them accomplish that. So true wealth is not about the money. True wealth is about the people. True wealth is the ability to generate new money, not just living on old money. We help our clients protect and grow not only their wealth, but their family for multiple generations. If you want to learn more about how the law can be used to protect your family, to protect your wealth, subscribe to our channel and visit our website. Our firm is taking on new clients. Want to work with us? The best way to get on our wait list is to click the link below. We look forward to hearing from you.